Hello, it is Wednesday. Oh, what day is it? It is March 6th of 2019. Um, and today, what I wanted to work on is some Azure pipeline stuff. So if you haven't heard, Travis CI, which is what most of the world used to use for open source, well, and I still use, for open source continuous integration. They've been purchased by a company called azure, which sent out some scary messaging and fired some longtime employees of Travis CI. So the future of Travis CI is a little bit shaky. So some stuff that I've been looking into recently is replacing my use of Travis CI with the offerings from Microsoft, which, oh no, Microsoft. Which actually seem pretty good. They have better throughput than Travis ever did. They have support for Windows and Linux, and they seem to have a rapidly growing community around making this stuff work really well. So I'm kind of excited about that. I played with Azure Pipelines a little bit. I don't know if it was, I think it was 2 weekends ago? A couple weekends ago, I don't remember. But I realized that you can build some pretty cool stuff with their YAML DSL that they define. So they kind of give you some power to basically build your own templates so that you don't have to copy and paste so much YAML everywhere. Now, sometimes you do end up copying and pasting a bunch of YAML, but I'm hoping to not do that in my repositories, because I don't know about you guys, but copying and pasting a bunch of like random code that might change at some point is kind of annoying. And if I can centralize it, that's pretty nice. So I made kind of a stab at centralizing it. One of the things that you can do with Azure Pipelines is kind of include other YAML repositories. So I made this Acetility/Azure Pipeline Templates repository, and I have a couple templates. Only 2 so far, but they work pretty well. So the way you would include this is you stick this resources repositories thing at the top, and then use them inside your job by using this kind of template argument. And you can pass parameters to templates, and the templates can kind of unfold those and make that work pretty well. So if you want an example here, so like this file, when it expands, is actually really long. If we show the template, yeah, so I would have to copy and paste basically all of this YAML. I mean, it's only 70 lines, but it's still kind of long. But instead, I can set the upstream repository and just kind of parameterize it. And this allows me to expand, like, on Windows, I want to test Python 2.7 and Python 3.7, and on Linux, I want to test a bunch more things. But by using the templates, it just kind of expands for me, which is pretty cool. So I'm kind of excited about this, and I applied it to 10 of my repositories, but I have like 50 more that I haven't applied it to. And so I've identified a couple today that I know are going to be problem children, and I'll try and tackle those ones today. The ones we're probably going to look at are this repository. And this one's particularly problematic because it's a mix of Python and Go, and I guess a little bit of C. And so we'll have to figure out how Go works with Azure Pipelines and kind of replace this code. Right now, I guess on Windows it's pretty easy, but we need to install the 32-bit version of Go, which might be a little bit weird. We might also just skip Windows because it might be complicated. And Travis is a little, like, significantly more complicated because we actually install Go. So we'll need to make sure that still works. Oh yeah, I usually go over stuff that I did last time or previously while I was offline. So last time, I worked on a chatbot for Twitch. It doesn't really do much But we implemented a couple of commands on stream last time, so there's help, oh-hi, and uptime, and you can actually see, like, before I did the stream today, I was playing with uptime, and it didn't work until I fixed it. But now when I'm offline, it'll say not currently streaming, if I have the bot up, although I currently manually set up and turn on the bot. But if I say uptime, it'll say, like, oh, I've been streaming for a grand total of 5 minutes and 47 seconds. There was a couple other commands we had, so like, if you give it a no hi, it'll reply and say your name or whatever. And, oh, there's the other hidden command. If you say ping, it will reply with pong. But that was one thing that we did last time, which was kind of nifty. I got to learn a bunch about like how async IO kind of works, and kind of played with the IRC protocol. The IRC protocol is actually pretty simple, so I was pretty happy working on that. I've also played with the Slack protocol in the past, and that one's, their API is not so good. But what are you gonna do, I guess? Another thing that I did while I was offline, had some downtime, is, well, speaking of offline, I put together a offline little image. So I'm not a graphic designer, so sorry if it looks awful, but I wrote some code to generate this, and this now displays when I'm offline, which is kind of neat. But this is actually the way I make this work, and I'll probably do a video on how I build thumbnails and stuff later, but this is actually an HTML page which has some markup in it and some images and stuff, and I use Selenium to, well, if you don't know what Selenium is a tool that allows you to programmatically control a web browser. And so you can, like, usually it's used for like integration tests where you like, you know, click on buttons and make sure that your websites still work. But I'm kind of abusing the fact that Selenium can take screenshots in order to generate thumbnails. And so if we look at how this works, I have this make screenshot file, which starts up a WebDriver instance. This is the thing that controls the browser and makes that kind of work. And I basically open up the HTML file that represents the thing I'm trying to render. Then it runs a script which opens up a new window that's at the correct height and width. Then I find the window that I just opened and I take a screenshot. It's pretty simple, but like a little bit over-engineered, but it works pretty well. So it allows me to quickly make new thumbnails for videos and not really have to worry too much about manually using an image editor. Now the kind of quality of my thumbnails is pretty straightforward. Like, they all look like this. I basically have some images, I have some text here, I have the like thumbnail type and the date or the episode number or whatever it is. But this all gets automatically generated. I'll probably go into more detail in a future video. But anyway, I worked on this while I was offline. It was actually more work than I wanted it to be, but I don't know, I think it looks pretty good. I had to like regenerate it a bunch of times because Twitch was cutting off the bottom here with the like player stuff, and so I had to like move these up so they didn't get clobbered by that. And this still gets clobbered by the like video preview in the top right, but I don't know, I thought this was good enough and put it up there. Anyway, that's kind of recap. What's up, Wano? How's it going? Can you check why it only says 0? Oh, here we go. Pasted code, GPA calculator. Alright. Type in your grades, no need to type in the class. Okay. I feel like this is gonna be a troll, but we'll play along. guess it doesn't look too... Okay, can you check why it only says 0? Type in your grades. No need to type in the classes. Got it. This is assuming you have like 7 classes. And... It's... Okay, this code looks fine. I figured out why it doesn't work, but I'll show you. I'll run it and then show you. Oh, this is a trap again. I'm falling for it. All right, so my first grade. So let's say that. Oh, I need Python 3, of course. Why is it so slow at the beginning? Is there sleep? Oh, there's sleep. I see. Okay, so let's say that I got all A's and a few B's, and it always prints 0. So if you look at the code, we made this function here that is supposed to compute the grade or the total GPA by adding up numbers. I assume you eventually want to change these so it's like A- or A+ or whatever, instead of like a bunch of each of them. But so we need to actually call this function, otherwise it's not doing anything. So we can do grade 1, grade... Oh, I see. This is a bunch of statements for each grade. I missed that part. So we need to actually call this function first off. So actually, what was it called? Points? Points. So we end up calling the function. Just do all A's because it's easier. And in this case, now we see that there's an unbound local variable. So that happened here. And the reason for that is this is actually a global. And so we need to be able to either modify this global or move it inside this function and return from here. Probably a better design here would be to take the total and put it into here. So total equals 0, and then at the end of this function, return the total value. So that'll get us closer. And then we need to print points instead of printing kilo. I'm gonna remove this sleep because it's gonna be faster. Now we have a function that reads each of these values and sums up a total here. Although if we want an average GPA, we actually have to divide by a number, but we'll get to that in a second. Run this again and say we got some B's. Now we're returning 4, which is still not right, but it's at least not 0. So now we need to change this again. And so the problem is now, let's say that grade 1 was A, and this is, I don't know, B, for instance. When we call this function, we're only going to run this if statement once, and so this first one is going to be true. We're going to add 4, and then all of these else ifs are going to get skipped. And then we'll go straight to the total. And so one thing that we can do without, I mean, I'll probably change how this code works in a second, but one thing that we can do to trivially fix that is change all of the elifs to ifs. That way, we'll try each of the grades. So now we should get a different total if we add A, B, 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 or whatever. And so we actually get 22 this time, which still isn't the right value because we would have to divide by 7 to get the right value. So if we divide by 7, now we get a number that's suspiciously close to pi, but now we're at least getting the right value. And so now let's kind of clean this up so we don't have as much duplication here. The first thing that I would do is make a list of grades. I was going to divide the average after. Nice. So I would make a list of grades so you don't need all of these variables here. So grades. And then for each of these inputs, we can actually append the grade so that we collect all of the grades in just this one list here. So you can do grades.append. So now if we put a breakpoint here, we can see that after running all of these, if we look at grades, we actually now have a list of grades here. And so probably if I were designing this even more strictly, I would take that list of grades as a parameter here. Grades. So let's actually move this down to the bottom so that we can look at all of the code at one point. So now that we have a list of grades, we can change all of these if statements to just a list of, or a loop here for grade and grades. So this will give us each string inside this list. And then we can do if grade is A, grade dot lower, total plus equals 4, total plus equals 3. What is C? Let's replicate all of these if statements, but a little bit fewer this time. Grade dot lower C, total plus equals 2. And if D, total plus equals 1. And do we care about... Well, there's no E's. Okay, so just go straight to F. We don't actually care about F because it's just adding zeros, so we can skip that entirely. And so that allows us to total up all of the GPA bits that we can get. And so at that point, we have a total here. So let's just show what that looks like. A, B, 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 B. So we're still getting our total of 22. But now we know the exact length that we have here, so we can divide by the length of the total. And so that'll give us the value that we want. Int has no length. Oh, I meant len of grades. So now we run this, and we get our pi answer again. So this is kind of like a more simplified version of that function. How do you make it so how many ever classes they put in, it divides that amount? Ooh, so that part, that would be kind of tricky. So you kind of want to make it so you can input as many things as you want. So the way I would design this is probably give them directions to like press Control D when done. What's up? How's it going? UC Suvacho. How many years have I been programming in Python? Ooh, I think my first Python was in 2012-ish. I was not very good at it, so I guess it's been almost 7 years. Yeah, so the way I might do this, like dynamic input instead of manually doing this here. You are so fast. Yeah. The way I would do this dynamic input is like give them directions onto like Control D or Control C, which will give us kind of a signal when it's done. Press Control C, Control D, or type done when done entering grades. Okay, can you send it to me, please? Yeah, I can send you what I have so far, and I'll send you the latter part too. Fluffy. But the way I would implement this bit is by doing something like data equals input. Oh, how would I do this? While true, so we have an infinite loop. Try except keyboard interrupt break. So keyboard interrupt would handle Control C, and then data equals input another grade. If data is equal to the empty string or done, I guess, then we'll also break out of this loop. Otherwise, and I think empty string is what you'll get with Control D. But we'll double check that. We would append that grade. And then when we're done with this loop, we should be able to print the total points here. So let's try that and see how that goes. Type in your grades, no need to type in classes. Press Control C or Control D or type done when done entering grades. So if we do A and then Control D, oh, we get EOF error. That's fine, EOF error. So that's with Control D or Control C. Data.lower is equal to done. So A and then Control D. Should probably print a new line here. So A and then Control D, and it'll print out 4.0. A and B and then Control D, and we get a 3.5. Oh, I guess we should try A and then V and then Control C instead, which I guess you can see. Can't see when I type Control D. The Control D sends end of file. But yeah, so that kind of works. This just like gives you a mechanism to input an arbitrary number of things. So it's any of that bit of code too. But hopefully that helps. Hopefully that leads you to whatever you're trying to build. Sorry if I wrote it all for you. But yeah, cool little demo. I actually wrote a similar program to this. Do I still have it somewhere? Let's see. Do I still have it? Because I once wanted to parse my transcript and give like a breakdown of the number of courses I took in each category and like my GPA by department, and I don't know if I ended up saving it. I have Dart? What? Did not know that. So we'll need to change this to private, because I'm pretty sure I haven't put this code on the internet yet. Old scripts, maybe? Unless it's in my archive repositories. Oh, that's sad. Unless it's in here. Nope. I had a thing that parsed my transcript and now I don't know where it went. Is it maybe in this repository? Oh, I guess I have a tool for this. What am I doing? All repos, find files, transcripts? Nope, must be gone. Anyway, I wrote a script like this before, and it was kind of cool. But I guess I lost it somewhere, which is a real bummer because it was kind of a cool script. Maybe it's in my email. I'll find it some other day. But anyway, what we actually want to work on today is converting some of my repositories that are using Travis and Go to try and make them work with Azure pipelines. And one thing that I know that I'm going to need to do is customize my pipeline template. Because right now, there's nowhere here that I can inject, like, please install Go for me. I started making a script/program based upon budget. You select your best CPU to buy, but I'm stuck. It's going to take a lot of time. Cool. Well, let me know if you need any pointers there. I can help you out with that. I assume you're basically deciding based on a cutoff, like where you would purchase or not. Hey Juan, how's it going? Long time no see. How's your Wednesday? That's not what I want. I want Azure Pipelines templates. Yeah, so one way that you could kind of work on your budget. Oh, scraping the data. Yeah, that's gonna be the hardest part. I wonder if, let's see, PC part picker. I wonder if they have an API. API. An official API. Ah, scraper, perfect. Yeah, so this might be helpful for finding what you need. You got transcoding, cool. Oh, am I streaming in multiple formats now? That's cool. I had no idea. It's probably because I've finally started averaging like 10 viewers a stream, which ooh, big milestone for me. But that might be why I have transcoding. But I've also started streaming in 720p to hopefully give more people access to the stream. And as far as I can tell, like, most of the text is still visible, so hopefully that's not a problem. And then if it is, I can always just like bump it up by one or two zoom levels to make that fine. But yeah, this might be something for you to look into for finding or scraping CPU data, so you don't have to do it yourself. My cam is tiny now. Oh, yeah, I guess that's... Yeah, I can make that slightly bigger. There we go. Slightly larger. I don't want it to obstruct too much of the screen. I guess, like, here you can't see my cursor. It's not super important real estate. Mine will only be for CPU, just for practice. Cool. Sounds good. I recently built the computer that I'm streaming on because my old one died. One day I went to go stream and it was like, all right, turn on my computer. Let's write some code and have some people watch, and it did not start. So that was pretty unfortunate. But yeah, so what was I doing? Azure Pipelines templates. Yeah, so the thing that I need to do in order to make Go installable inside of an Azure template is kind of have this customizable, well, not that one, a like customizable install stage. Because right now it's completely hard-coded because I didn't want any options, but now I need to kind of expand it so that I can have options there. Do I have two monitors? Yes, I do. There's a sound like tapping the mic. Oh. Let me move my... It's probably because... Oh, I don't even know. Someone hammering on the wall. Well, no one else lives here, so it's probably just me. It could be me shaking my legs or tapping the desk. I don't know. I need to come up with a better setup where my microphone doesn't pick up everything that happens in my room. Oh, it's the music. It could be the music. Oh yeah, some stuff that I worked on last time that you might have missed. I worked on a chat bot, so there's a few commands in chat now. Not too many, but worked on those last time. I played with async.io and Python, so I learned some stuff. Look, I made a thing. Yeah, so right now this install isn't customizable, but I think there's a thing in here that lets me, or like shows how to do this. Where was it? Pre-install? Pre-test. Yeah, so you can use a substitution parameter. I saw the code, but lost the oh, I didn't get to watch the stream. Cool. Yeah, so it looks like I can inject steps using this pre-test. So I think I'm gonna try and play with that and see how that goes. What is it? Oh, that's not how you spell Visual Studio. I'm gonna log into my account so that I can set up some, is that not how it works? Log into my account so I can set up some pipelines and go from there. Hey, what's up, CodeMonkey.js? Haven't seen you in a while. How's life? So now you can kind of see. I'm going to show you how clunky it is to set up Azure pipelines. It's a lot of clicking, unfortunately, but I've mostly got it down. Ooh, 93% success rate. Mostly because I've been doing a lot of trial and error when setting these up, and mostly error. Let's see. So press this plus button to get started. Wait, that didn't do anything. Oh, I have to go to here first. Right. Then I press the plus button? Yeah, there we go. Clicker game. Yeah. It's cookie clicker except for CI pipelines. New build pipeline. I've already forgotten how to do this. I think I go to GitHub. So we're gonna do one for which project do we want to do? So some setup.py, we haven't migrated it yet. Which repos do we have? So I think we'll do probably this one because I think it's the simplest and the lowest impact. Setup tools, Golang examples. And so you start by doing this. DevOps, yeah. Yeah. So Azure DevOps actually is kind of a pretty cool product, but yeah, like I definitely had the same reaction at first, which is like, oh no, Microsoft, I'm scared. But it actually seems like a decent offering, although I just clicked on that button and the button moved while I clicked on it, so that was a little bit jank. And you can use a bunch of templates, although we're not going to use a template today because I'm writing templates. So we're going to click YAML and then apply. And then it always defaults to this name, which is kind of annoying. The naming scheme that I've been using for these is organization.reponame, setup tools, Golang examples. And then this doesn't matter because our YAML configures it for us, but so I don't bother changing that. And then the default is Azure pipelines.yaml, but it would be nice if they filled this in for you. The next thing that we do is not actually save in queue because we don't have any YAML set up. So we're just going to save this. And I don't know what this dialog's for, so every time I've just clicked save. I think at that point it's set up. But then there's something else that I have to do. I have to go to summary. I forget what it is though. Oh, I have to grab a status badge. That's what it is. Grab the status badge. We're gonna eventually put this into a markdown file. You will learn Golang. I've done some Go. I don't actually write very much Go, but I can kind of work my way around it. I don't particularly like Go, but it gets the job done. It's not bad. It's not like never mind. I'm not gonna talk crap about languages. They all have their place in doing some things better than some others. Like for instance, I started in PHP, and most people say that's a terrible language, and they're probably kind of right. But I don't know, PHP isn't the worst. Alright, so the way this repo is set up right now is there is Travis.yaml and oh, this one isn't tested on Windows. Perfect. What do you think about Node though? I don't know, JavaScript isn't a terrible language. I mean, it kind of is, but like ES6 makes things a lot better. Node is it's a good engine for running JavaScript. I don't particularly like the callback hell that JavaScript kind of encourages. That one's, I don't know, a little too much for me in my mind. But I don't know. It isn't the worst. I haven't written too many Node apps myself. I helped a friend work on a startup that wrote a Node app once, or I tried to help. I think she knew more about the app than I did, so I don't know that I was super helpful there, but I tried to help. Right, so the first thing that we want to do here is add the status badge that we had from the that we copied from the Azure Pipelines dashboard. And the tricky thing about this is most of this status badge is static, except for this little number right here, which is unpredictable, so you always have to copy it out of that dashboard. And in fact, now that I know this, I'm going to go and replace this coverage badge too. And the way I've been doing that, let's see, I think it's shields.io. Code coverage, Azure DevOps coverage branch. The organization is Azatili. The project, I don't remember. Find an example. The organization, I think it's Azatili. Yes, it is. And then the branch is master. And for now, we won't have any result here, which is fine. But we'll copy a badge URL. And well, that's just the URL. I think we copy this. And then we have to find this number here and change the 2 to a 12. I think that makes this work properly. But we'll find out later when we make a branch for this. Azure Pipelines. And we want to make the Azure Pipelines pipelines.yaml, and we'll fill this out, probably given the templates that I already have. So I'm gonna just take the template that we started with in this one and adjust it as we go. That's what development is about, copy and paste, yeah. I should really just change my stream title to, I don't really write Python, I just copy and paste YAML all day. It's probably just as accurate. We're not gonna be testing Windows here, so we can get rid of that. Let's actually see, what were we testing before? So before we were testing Go 110, Go 111, and Python 2.7, 3.6, and PyPy. So that's pretty easy to do. 2.7, 3.6, and PyPy. But we might as well test 3.7 while we're at it. We'll skip 3.8 because it's not it's not out yet, and I don't think there's anything important to test in 3.8. But we'll also have to install Go here. And we're actually testing 2 different versions of Go, so we'll make sure that Go 110 and Go 111 work. So this will be test Go 1.11. Actually, I think Python... Wait, what version of Go is out right now? It's probably Go 112 by now. Release history. Go 1.12, release 225, which was last week. So I guess we'll test Go 112 and Go 1.11. Because the way the Go support lifecycle works is they only support the last minor release, I think. Each major Go release is supported until there are 2 newer minor releases. Go 1.5 was supported until Go 1.7 released. Yeah, so right now these are the only supported Go versions. And so why would I bother testing other things? But we'll also have another set of jobs which install 1.11. I think this'll work, we'll see. But here we'll probably only test Python 2.7. That way it completely mirrors what we had over here. But the install Go part is going to be the tricky part here, and so we'll have to figure something out there. Use Notepad and be hardcore. I think people are already kind of laughing at me for using Nano. I think Notepad would be taking that to a whole different level. I could gedit instead. It's about Nano. Oh, I didn't answer the question earlier. Someone asked what terminal I'm using. I think. Yeah, what terminal are you using? I'm using GNOME terminal, which is the default terminal on Ubuntu. But yeah, I could do some sick gedit and look like a, I don't know, is gedit more or less newbie than using Nano? Oh goodness, close without saving. No, we won't use gedit. One concern that I'm just looking at this already that I'm already going to have is I suspect that these job configurations are actually going to clash because of the way that jobs are set up. Where did that go? Okay, so jobs get a templated name that I think is just, it's going to clash between the two. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure. ms-paint-i.de. What is going on here? MS Paint IDE. Oh my god. The most partially downloaded IDE on the internet. Why is there a... Oh, Discord, okay. Why? Oh my god. Oh, this is hilarious. I guess you could use Paint as a development environment. Let me view the image. Why is this not clicky? Oh, it puts it up here, I see. Screenshots. That's awful, but also hilarious. Do I use Nano at work also? Yes. Yes, I do. I used to use IntelliJ, and before that Eclipse, and before that Visual Studio. But yes, now I'm a plebly noob using Nano. I suspect this is gonna collide, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So then the next part is how do we install Go? Azure pipelines Go. So we don't actually care about setting up a Go workspace. So this part is not helpful to us, or not relevant to us. Although we'll need to do this later. Because that's how one of the other projects that uses Go gets tested. Go get, it's fine, using dep, whatever. Building a container image. Where's the part where it's like, here's how you install Go? Install Go Azure pipelines. We just looked at that one. Go tool install task. Find or downloads a specific version of Go in the tools cache and adds it to the path. Okay. Go version to download. It seems like this doesn't support 32-bit, which we would need, maybe. That didn't link me to the... to find it in here. Let's see, tasks, Go tool v0. Version star. What are the stars? Is this a footnote that goes nowhere? Looks like a footnote that goes nowhere. Go language release page. Yeah, this doesn't seem to have a thing for selecting 32 or 64-bit. How does this work? Oh, we do have Arch. Oh no, that's just defaulting the architecture, I guess. Oh no, Arch would be... Oh no, architecture would be 32 versus 64-bit. Get Go. Acquire Go. Different than Get Go. It seems like we could customize it to use 32 or 64-bit here. Okay, gotta go. Have fun, guys. Thanks for stopping by. But it looks like we could fix their code to also support manually selecting 32-bit. I don't even know how I would go about customizing this though. But we will cross that bridge in a second. Actually, I'm going to make an issue about it. So go tool. Allow go tool to force 32-bit download. Environment, blah 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 blah. Don't be troubleshooting. I don't. I know it doesn't support this. Environment. Azure pipelines. This would be Azure pipelines. If using Azure pipelines, provide the account name, team name, build definition. Not applicable. Agent, hosted, or private. We're just gonna skip most of this. Issue description. I'd like to be able to intentionally download 32-bit Golang on 64-bit architectures. Similar to the, oh, what is the option for Python? I'm pretty sure there's an option for for Arch Linux, yeah. Where's the... Oh, I must have removed it at some point. Architecture. Similar to the architecture parameter for, what is this job called? For use Python version. Use, what is this called? Or go tool, add 0. Task logs, art logs, not important. I'd be happy to work on this as well if you can give me some pointers to where I would look. Hey, what's up, Mindful Fox? Arch Linux, best Linux, but it's boring till you set up. Bay Area commute sucks. Where are you commuting to and from? Or do you have to deal with like Muni? San Jose to Mountain View. Oof. I guess it could be worse. But yeah, that's a pretty long one. I assume you take Caltrain. San Jose to Mountain View. Well, I mean, if you catch the right train, it's not so bad. This is a local train. Let's assume you're arriving by like some reasonable work time, like 10 a.m. or something. I guess it's still 20 minutes. That's a local train. Where's the not local trains? Limited train? I guess it's still 20 minutes. 19 minutes? Yeah, that's not too bad. Oh, you drive. Oh. Yeah, that's gonna suck. Especially the last couple of days, because it's been raining and people just like lose their damn minds when it rains in the Bay Area, because like, oh my gosh, there's drizzle. How do I drive? What is a car? How do I steering wheel? Like, and even like sometimes the train is later when it rains, which I don't understand because it's just like a train. Oh, thanks for stopping by. Oh, 4 a.m. here. Yeah, probably a good time to call it a night. That's pretty late. But even the train like today was late, which makes no sense because it's a train. Like, how is a train delayed by rain? Like, I mean, I guess the tracks are slipperier and like maybe people take longer to get on because they put their umbrellas away or something, but I don't know. It's like there should be no excuse for a train being slow. A train may dissolve in rain. Yeah. But like yesterday the train was like 20 minutes late, which is pretty unheard of unless people get like hit by the train, which happens a surprising amount. But yeah, my there's a manager that sits next to me who's not my manager, but he's a really cool guy. But he drives to work from basically where, like, I live in San Mateo, which is here. So I live somewhere around here, and he lives in San Mateo, but he lives kind of not near this train station, not near this train station, so he drives up the 101 to get to work, and I work basically right... where is it? Harrison, Bryant, Brannon... I work basically right here. And that day it took me like 26 minutes, or like, I guess it was longer because I had to wait for the delayed train. But I was late getting to the train, so I didn't really experience the full delay. But I probably took like 36 minutes to get to work, but it took him an hour and a half driving, because apparently 101 was just like super gridlocked. I should look at other options. Yeah, sometimes the transit situation is better than driving. Like, I don't have a car. I kind of wish I had a car because I like driving, but I don't know that I would drive to commute. That seems like... Wait, why am I logged in? What is going on here? I'm logged into Google Maps. Amazing. I wonder... Oh, well, now Google knows that I'm looking at Mountain View or whatever. Oh, goodness, what is going on? You guys all saw that. What was going on there? But yeah, anyway, we have your data. Yes, you do. Google has so much data about me that I've just kind of like given up on handling Google, or like knowing that Google has all my data. And GDPR doesn't seem to be changing much of that because people are just kind of paying the fines and calling it good enough. I just got an email, which is what distracted me for a sec. There's this big long conversation about these magical PTH files in Python, and I figured I'd reply to this while I was thinking about it. But there's a very long-winded conversation with many people saying, oh, it shouldn't do this, oh, it should do this, blah 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 blah. Boycott Google, sent for my Android. Yeah, I have an Android phone, so it would be me too. I guess technically it's a Samsung phone that runs their forked version of Android, but it's close enough to Android. I don't know, I like my phone. But yeah, the number of people that are like boycott Apple sent for my iPhone, like boycott Google sent from Android are kind of funny. So let's reply to this. So there's this subprocess run package, which on import assigns subprocess.run, which is an API in Python 3. Did I finish that bot? Some parts of it, the chatbot. So it has a couple of commands. I didn't finish like writing a bunch of other things for it, and I didn't get my like tag assignment stuff, so I still did that manually. But there's a couple things that work, and it kind of, you know, it's fun. But yeah, I didn't quite finish it, but I got some of it working. It was a good learning experience. I'll probably hack on it more on stream at some other point. But you know, I got what I wanted to learn out of it, which was pretty cool. Very original name there. Feels amazing, man. Yeah. I don't know. Figured it's gonna be my bot, so I have to name it after me. Add NLP. I know nothing about NLP, so I guess that would be a learning experience. So maybe I'll look into that at some point. I don't know what I would do with NLP though. Like, they didn't migrate to GitHub issues. Yeah. Python is still stuck on their clunky app from 1995 or whenever they wrote it. I wish they would switch to GitHub issues because it would be so much easier and so much more accessible, and I wouldn't have to remember the like. I actually have like 4 different bugs.python.org accounts, and my username the one that I currently use has a space in it, so I always forget. But so site is just so clunky. I can't remember the last thing that let me have a username with a space in it either. It's kind of weird. Yeah, so there's this subprocess run package on PyPI, and it includes a PTH file, which the way PTH files work, I can actually show you one PTH file, and why people want to get rid of them. I don't know. I think they're kind of useful, but I can see why people wouldn't want them. Yeah. So I'll install one of my packages that has a PTH file in it called Future Breakpoint. Site packages. Yeah, so if I look inside site packages, Future Breakpoint installed a couple of files. The first is this dist info, which is kind of like metadata about the package. It installed this future breakpoint.so file, which is the shared object that implements the backing parts of future breakpoint. And then it installed this AAAAA underscore future underscore breakpoint.pth file. And this is kind of where the magic of that package happens. And if we look at this file, it's composed of 2 parts. The first is an import that does nothing. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then there's this exec statement, which first tries to see if breakpoint is defined. Actually, this exec statement's kind of long, so I'll show you what it does because I have it in a different file. Let's see, all repos, asynchronically, future breakpoint. So this is the contents of that PTH file, but jammed into one line. And the way PTH works is if you have an import on a line, or if you have a line that starts with import, it will be evaled, or exec, not evaled, slight difference. Eval is expressions exec is statements or code. It will be execed on interpreter startup. So this allows you to kind of like customize how an interpreter works. The other use of PTH files is if you put directory paths on a line, it will add those to sys.path. So it kind of has two features. But anyway, I kind of abuse this fact to exec this chunk of code here, and what this chunk of code here does is it tries to see if your interpreter already has breakpoint as a built-in. So in Python 3.7, if you ask for breakpoint, you'll see that breakpoint's already installed or already part of the standard Python distribution. But in like Python 3.5, breakpoint is not a thing, and even in Python 3.6, breakpoint is normally not a thing. So the next thing it does is it tries to import that shared object file that I showed you before, future breakpoint, which is where it implements the code. If it import errors, it just skips it. So like, fine, whatever. You don't have me installed, but somehow you have one of my files installed. I'm not going to think too hard about it and just pretend it's okay. The next thing that it does is it tries to import the built-ins module and sys again, I guess, even though it's already imported here. But that's fine. You can import sys more than once. And then it monkey patches sys and built-ins, and basically makes this breakpoint function work. And these two functions actually look almost exactly the same as the way the standard library implements them. And so if you look in this here, this virtual env here, so this is Python 3.6, Python version 367, and we saw here that 367 does not support breakpoint. But because of this path file, if I run Python again, and I ask for breakpoint, and ta-da, it's there. And you can use it in code just like you would a PDB statement. Name equals main, exit f. And so like you get a debugger, and it works. It's pretty cool. But they want to kill PTH functionality, which would basically make nifty hacks like this not work anymore, and I'd be a little sad. But anyway, that's that. Did my message not? Oh, I never pressed submit here. Yeah, so that's, what does PTH mean? I think they just call them path files, but I don't actually know. Let's see, Python PTH file. I call it PTH because that sounds fine. PTH. A path configuration file, I guess, is how they refer to it. Its contents are additional items, one per line, to be added to sys.path. Non-existing items are never added to sys.path, and no check is made that the item refers to a directory rather than a file. They're not added more than once. Blank lines are skipped. Blank lines and comments are skipped. And here's the magical part. Lines starting with import followed by a space or a tab are executed. Which that's where the magic comes in. But I don't know. I like them. I think I like the mechanism that it enables, in that you can install packages that kind of augment your Python installation at startup time. Now, some people do not like them. Path files are evil. But I think like the things that are pointed out here are fixable. Like difficult to debug because they're processed too early. Like make a mechanism for debugging them. That fixes that. They usually contain globs of inscrutable code. Fine, that's fair. But make a way to have them contain normal code, and then that kind of gets fixed. Exceptions in path files can get swallowed in some cases. I don't think this is true. I'm pretty sure that if you have an exception, well, let's just make one that's broken. Import sys exec. I don't know, or I can even just do one about azure. Yeah, so it actually just causes this to immediately exit. So I think this is just straight up false. So we'll let that slide. They're load in indeterminate order. This can also be fixed too by just sorting the path files and running them in order. So I think like all of these issues are fixable, except for this one because it's not actually true. But I don't know. There's a lot of discussion here. I originally noticed this bug report because somebody actually mentioned one of my projects as like, hey, this is kind of a cool thing that would just go away. But we like evil stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of running pip installable stuff that can change startup. You're a Python celebrity. Yeah, well, it's because I made a terrible thing that works really, really well. But yeah, this is another project that abuses path files. And this one uses it to enable f-strings, which are usually only able to be used in Python 3.6+, in any other version of Python. Well, within reason. Like, probably doesn't work in Python 2.6, but I don't know. I have no interest in supporting Python 2.6, so sucks for them, I guess. But yeah, this is like kind of a tricky hack that if you want to see how it works, I think I did a YouTube video on it. Let's see. YouTube, Anthony writes code. Pretty sure I made a video on this. Yeah, here it is. So if you want to see how feature f-strings works in gory detail, I describe it in like 6.5 minutes in that video. If you want to check that out. But shameless plug. Nim copied f-strings. I think Python copied f-strings from the 4 or 5 other languages that implement it. Like JavaScript copied f-strings. Like I don't know who was first. It was probably Perl, or something terrible like Perl. But I don't actually know. Alright, so we're going to use this Go tool task and kind of fill out this here. We'll call it pre-install. Yeah, so I think this is how this will work. Trading white space there. Like I want, this is kind of the API that I want to happen here. Like before we run the Python 2.7 job, we'll pre-install Go 1.11, and in this one we'll pre-install Go 1.12. Although I think we need to actually pick a specific version of Go, maybe? Minor revision. So the last one is 1.11.5. So we'll 1.11.5, which seems fine. And we'll try and make this work. But I think in order to make this work, we need to actually modify my pipeline templates to support this pre-install. And so from that, we're going to look at the example that we had. We don't need this anymore. Don't need that. Don't need that. We found that. We'll come back to this page in a bit. We saved this, so we're done with that. But this is what we wanted to do. So we'll go to Azure Pipeline Templates, and we're going to be modifying this Python talks job. And so we're going to add a pre-install setting here. They use camel case, but I'd rather snake case, I guess. So we'll stick to our snakes. But then we want to insert a list of things into steps. So steps is down here, and we'll put it after the Python installation stuff, but before we install packages here. Probably. Pre-install? No, we probably want pre-test. Pre-install, pre-test. And just like ensure that it runs before that. Wow, YouTube, you're real picky today. It only gave me an hour before it was like, are you still watching? Yeah, I'm still watching YouTube. The music gets played from YouTube, so if you ever see me talking to YouTube, it's me making sure that the music continues. Yeah, so pre-test is probably a better name for this. And actually, I think we'll put it. Yeah, here seems fine. So like after we install the Python version and before we do the pip related stuff. So I think that's good. But now we want to kind of test this in a branch. Support pre-install, pre-test. I'm gonna typo that and type pre-install so many times in this stream, so sorry about that. Pre-test. And one of the cool things about, or one of the like kind of nifty things is usually you can point it like a tag, or at least that's how I've been doing it. But you can actually point it at branch, so I can try out this change that I just made here by pointing at refs heads slash, what was my branch name? Pre-test. And so when we're done validating this, we'll switch it back to a tag. But for now, we can point at refs heads pre-test. And we'll make a commit, Azure Pipelines, and we don't actually want to run Travis, and I'll actually go through and disable Travis CI after we get this passing. So we'll make a commit there. The pre-commit hooks helpfully remove this new line here. So thank you, me. Yeah, so I think we can push this and start testing it. Hopefully it works. We'll find out. It'd be amazing if it worked on the first try. So I've configured this pipeline to only run on pull requests, so things targeting master, or branches that start with the word test me. So I'm actually going to make a pull request so that this gets tested, because I didn't name my branch test me. And then, so create a pull request, and we should, if I set things up properly, this should turn yellow real soon. Maybe not. Why are you not? Oh yeah, here we go. It did start, but why is it not showing up here? I don't know why it didn't show up here. Build number 168. Unexpected value, empty string, unexpected value version. Oh boy. I think I did this wrong. Oh, I think this is supposed to be indented. Maybe? Trial and error. We'll figure it out. I don't know why this is build number 168 though. I guess maybe this is 168 of all of my builds ever? I don't actually know. But why is it not building? Confused. No, there's some kinks to work out, I guess. Okay, this one failed too. The job name Tox Linux appears more than once. Job names must be unique within a pipeline. So we'll probably need to... Ugh, gross. So the reason it's failing is it currently uses a string plus this value here to construct the name of the job. And so since these strings are the same, it's producing the same output. So we'll actually need to like add an extra parameter that will jam into the name, I guess. Which is silly, but let's see, name postfix, and we'll default it to the empty string, and then parameters dot name postfix. It's a little bit clunky, kind of a hack, but I think it'll work. Improving the UI of plugin store of the web framework with Bulma CSS. Oh, is this your web framework that you're working on? Ooh. Buttons look nice. The colors are a bit garish, but it's looking better. Nice. I might want to tone down the colors a little bit, but I don't know. The layout's nice. The styling's pretty slick. I like it. Alright, so we've updated our templates. Now we need to... What was the name of the thing that I just did? Name postfix. So we want to like say that this job is the Go 111. Name postfix Go 111. Unfortunately, I don't think I can use dashes. Let's see, job name Azure. I know I can't use spaces. Can I use dashes? Name string. Container resource, repository resource, job. A to Z, 0 to 9, and the underscore. So I can use underscores, but I would want this, but unfortunately I cannot has, so this will have to be good enough. Or this, even though it's kind of ambiguous. Or this. We'll do that. That looks fine. And this is Go 112. Why are these indented differently? Oh. Don't know why. Okay, so this will give us unique name prefixes between these two jobs now. Oh, these are all sorts of screwed up. What is going on here? This is Opera 1 also. Weird. Oh, I might have backspaced that. That might be my fault. Blaming it. I'm gonna blame it on me. Because that seems most fair. Alright. So now we'll force push this and hopefully get an actual job. And hopefully it'll show up here. I don't know why it's not showing up on the pull request. Seems kind of suspect. I'm gonna check in the other tab in the settings. I'm doing it in another tab because I'm pretty sure it shows a key. Because it's supposed to set up webhooks for... Oh, the webhooks are set up. Also, they're not... There's no secrets here, so I can just show you guys. But yeah, there's webhooks that are supposed to talk to Visual Studio, which would hopefully make that do status here. Oh, there we go. It's working now. That's exciting. And it's formatted our job outputs here, which is neat. But this is basically the same matrix that we had before. And we have, well, I guess I can't show you, but like normally Travis would only queue 5 jobs at once, but Azure Pipelines will queue up to 10, which is way faster. Let's see, did it install Go? Caching tool. What does that mean? Like they're working on a caching tool, but I don't know that it's done yet. But no, we'll find out. If this succeeds, then this one was easier than I thought it was gonna be. I think the harder part is gonna be installing Go and kind of having a dual project, which is how the Docker file one is set up. But if this one's easy, then that's good. But yeah, if this succeeds, then I'll go back and actually commit this to where's the first push? Here we go. I'll commit this to master and then make a release and then go back to using tags again, because tags will be better than branches, because I'm going to delete the branch when I'm done with it, and don't want the job to just suddenly stop. Where were we? Here we go. Oh, one of them succeeded, so that's good. Yeah, so that means it built my module and installed it fine, which is cool. I wish I probably should make it print out the Go version in the tests here. I'm not sure why I didn't do that. What is this going on here? Some warning noise? Why is Node.js running? What is going on here? It's in the warning, use this function instead of this function. I made a script that causes blah, I can't talk. This is so much more work. Anyway, apparently Azure Pipelines is using some deprecated API, and so that's what the spew is from. Did this ever finish? Oh, it did. And this should be green now. Sweet. So that means I can disable Travis, because I've completely replaced it here. So I'll go and show that. Oh, please don't show my keys. This is going to show my keys. Let me make sure it doesn't show my keys first. No keys there. Right? Right? Yeah, okay, there's no keys. So then if we search for setup tools, Golang examples, we can turn Travis off. And I can actually delete that there. Now I don't have Travis anymore. And what else did I want to do in this branch? Oh, I also want to disable coveralls, but I know that one shows my key, so I'll do that one off screen. It's kind of annoying that coveralls is just like, oh yeah, you're definitely never going to have someone looking over your shoulder or streaming to the internet. So here's your key in plain text and in plain sight. No problems there. Repos. You guys can't see this, so I just sound like I'm talking to myself, which is partially true. How does this work? Oh, I'm probably hitting the, like, no? I don't know how to turn it off here. Examples. Alright, here we go. Settings. Delete repo. Yes. Alright, so I've deleted that. So now I can start merging this and then changing the tag. We'll merge that. So we want to document these parameters. So there's also pre-test steps to run before running talks, installing tools, etc. I should say new in 0.0.5, which is the version I'm about to make. And then there's, was it name prefix? I don't even remember. Name postfix. String to be appended to job name if you need to make it unique. Default empty string. Default empty list. Steps. And we'll change this number here. And then this will be the 0.0.5 tag. And it's basically that easy to make a new version of this, and then I'll go back here and update it, or I'll go back to the setup tools Golang project and update it. And so this will point back to the version that I just released. And then, given, I can actually just delete Travis now because we're not actually, it's not hooked up anymore. And then the commit actually looks pretty straightforward, so delete the Travis file because we're no longer running that anymore. Swap out the badges in the README from Travis and coveralls to the two from Azure Pipelines. And then we add our pipeline file, which points at our upstream repo, the branch trigger, and the two job types that we have. So our Go 111 and our Go 112 job, and the various box environments that we're testing against. That's it. So hopefully that PR will pass. Will still pass. It passed before, so I don't see why I wouldn't this time. But it probably probably hurt my percentage. Yeah, my percentage of build succeeding went down, which is to be expected. Yeah, over the last 30 days it's even worse because when I was first setting up Azure Pipelines, there was a lot of trial and error, and I had no idea what I was doing. So like things that I thought should work were not working, and I had a lot of failed builds while I was hacking on that. But let's see. So that pre-test worked fine. Let me delete some tabs. Let me close some tabs. Now that we've done that. PyTest. Oh, we have a daily cron for PyTest. We're also looking to replace Travis for PyTest as well, which we've started hooking up Azure Pipelines for that too. Although this one is very much like a giant copy-paste job, which is a little unfortunate, but I don't know, it works. But a lot of this could be replaced by just running or using the same template that I was showing before. Oh, I should probably make a way to add variables. I didn't do that, but whatever. I'll add that as a feature to my templates when I find that it's needed. This might be the next one that we try and move over, although this has the complicated 6 or 32-bit issue here. Not sure how we're gonna do that yet. We might like make a manual job or a manual what am I trying to say? A manual step that will install 32-bit Go for making this one work. But we'll look at that in a bit. I think this one also, yeah, this one does Go testing, so we'll need to actually set up a Go path and make that work as well. And it looks like we test 2 versions of Go here as well. How did I get 25 minutes from San Jose to Mountain View? Was that hilariously wrong? San Jose to Mountain View. Like, it might have been, like, optimistically picking places. Yeah, like, it picked, like, right downtown San Jose, and... why did I pick there in Mountain View? Maybe that's the middle of Mountain View? I guess if you're going to Google... this is probably a better answer, and then if you're doing public transit, like... it's now it's a bit longer. Oh, that's the 22. We would like 55 minutes. It's still kind of long. Yeah, that's it's not great either. We arrive by. Is there a shuttle for Google that goes from San Jose? I know there's one that goes from San Francisco. People in San Francisco are like super mad about it. This is a little bit better. But it looks like, oh, I guess this is like 10-minute wait in between. Not terrible. But I don't know where you're at in San Jose. Yeah, the shuttle takes an hour. Oof. I guess an hour isn't too bad compared to 43 minutes. And isn't there like Wi-Fi on the shuttle so you can kind of like get some stuff done? Or browse Reddit or whatever. I made a silly like gut typo the other day. I was trying to go to reddit.com/r/ I don't know, I think it was atgbe. Oh no, atbge. You suck at referencing subreddits. Yeah. atbge is what I wanted, which is awful taste but great execution. Which is shit like this. But I accidentally went to github.com/r/ because I just it was muscle memory and I wasn't thinking straight, but I thought it was pretty funny. What is this hidden gem? Oh, atbge or me typoing stuff? This is a oh, why? Why would you do this? These are hurting my back just looking at them. Yeah, same. What in the... What was the typo? It was reddit.com AT but great execution. Awful taste, but I think it was GBE is the is the typo? Yeah. Because I typoed GBE instead of BGE. But anyway, I think my job is passed now, which is good. And so now we have some badges that haven't been updated yet, but they'll get updated when the first run happens. But I guess we made it work. Oh, did I leave the Skip Travis in there? Dang it. Oh well. Yeah. The title of the PR still says Skip Travis, but that's fine. I mean, it looks silly, but I did disable Travis, so it's accurate at least. Let's see, I've been streaming for an hour and a half. We could probably do a couple more. Hour and a half, and I've done one, and it's copy pasting a bunch of YAML. Let's see. So we wanted to find more repos to do this. All repos, grep. Actually, we'll just do the Dockerfile one, because I think that one's going to be the most complicated. Okay, so we need to make a new pipeline again. And this button doesn't do anything, apparently. Again. GitHub. Dockerfile, master, continue, YAML, apply. Azure pipelines.yaml. See, on Travis, it's just you check a box and it's done. This one's a little clicky, unfortunately. Oh, almost screwed this up. And then now it's created, go to summary, and then I grab the status badge. Okay. A little bit excess work, but it's not bad, I guess. And here we're gonna try and replace both Windows and both AppVeyor, which is a Windows CI, and Travis CI at the same time. So hopefully we'll get rid of both of those if I do it correctly. And we want an Azure pipeline. So upgrade Azure pipelines to here. And oh, this is the old one. So the old version of my template used to have to copy and paste this job a bunch of times, and it was made a lot simpler by having talks be a list of environments instead of having to do this nonsense. So this is what we have now. And what we're replacing is two things. So one of them is AppVeyor, which will be our Windows environment. And again, we're going to test 2.7 and 3.7, which is fine. But we have to add a pre-test. And I'll leave myself a to-do because I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. But we want to install x86 Go. So that'll be the Windows test, which will cover this. And then I think I'll do a separate test that tests the actual Go package itself. And so we'll follow the Go template for doing that. And so to do job for testing Go, and I'll probably make a template in my templates repository, even though I don't have too much other Go, but it'll be good for doing that there. So we'll do job for testing Go, and I'll probably try and do a template for that. So it'll probably look like template job go test. Yeah, we'll just call it go test. And the parameters for that will be go versions and 1.11.5 and 1.12. And then operating system will be Linux. And so this is probably how I'll set up that other job when we get to it. And then we'll have our Linux test down here, which we had PyPy, Pi27, Pi36, Pi37 is probably fine. And we want to install Go here as well. So similar to the one we just did, I guess. Oh shoot, screwed that up. Oh, copied too much. Oh, and I guess we'll also test Go 111 with the Python package as well. So copy this guy. So this one's a little bit more complicated than the other jobs, or the other CIs, but still should be mostly templates, so that's good. So the things to do are to set up this Go test job and to set up installing x86 Go, which I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll find out. I think I'm going to start by setting this up first, and we'll iterate on that first, since I think that's going to be the most complicated bit. So we're back in our Azure Pipeline templates repository. And so we'll switch to a branch here again. Go test. Go underscore test? No, go dash test is what I called it. So I'm copying the Python talks job just because it already has parameters set up, so hopefully I'll be able to follow that example. And we have Go versions and OS is all it has set up for now. I might as well leave this pretest and name prefix here just because it'll be useful, maybe? I don't know. Go test, operating system, name prefix. So that seems fine. Strategy matrix. So we want to iterate over the Go versions here. I don't know how this works. For Go in Go versions, hopefully it allows me to have dots here. That YAML templating though, yeah, this is their like crazy mini language, which is kind of clever, but I don't know, a little bit complicated, if you ask me. So this is all we'll need to template out Go here. We had to do a bunch of complicated stuff in Python because I was basically parsing the talks environment to do stuff. But here we're just passing along this variable, which is kind of nice. We don't care about this. It's tasks, so we need this Go tool task. Go tool at 0 inputs. I like how in Python it's version spec, but in Go it's version. You can tell which one they spent more time on. I did that right? Yeah. So this is a thing that I got caught up and spent a whole bunch of time like banging my head against a wall. You can only use this syntax for parameters, and you can only use this syntax for matrix entries or variables. So I can't actually use this curly brace syntax down here. And I can't access, like... Well, I could access these parameters, but I would access them as a list, which isn't so useful. So that took me way too long to figure out, because I was trying to use this syntax everywhere. So that was definitely like a huge gotcha for me. Maybe we'll trip other people up as well. Let's see, we install Go, we don't need this. We have pretest, which we still have from here, so I'm not gonna bother changing that. We don't need to install talks, and we don't need to deal with coverage. And so now all that's left is implementing the clever Go bits. So let's copy and paste from their example. Did this ever build? Oh wait, this is the Dockerfile one. So come back to that. This built though. So this should have updated by now. Nice. So yeah, these are green now. Don't need this, don't need that. Let's see, Azure pipelines going. Now we get to copy and paste more YAML. Set up a Go workspace. As the Go documentation describes, blah 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 blah. Go bin is go path/bin. What? This snippet does the following. It sets the Go route to the version of Go that should be used. So I don't think we need to do that, because we're using Go tool. And as long as Go is on the path for new enough versions of Go, you don't need to specify Go route, because it'll just automatically infer that. Also, package directory is not used anymore, so you don't actually need to make this. Moves code that was fetched from the repository into the workspace's source directory. Adds the version of Go and the workspace's bin to the path. So we don't need to do this. There's a lot of stuff here that we just don't need to do, I guess. But we do need to... What's this module path? Oh. So we move the code and then we need to set this for everything else. I see. Okay, so we essentially need to make a Go path. I've never seen this syntax before. I don't know what this syntax is about. Bang, go path, go path. Move. What is happening here? I have no idea what's going on here. I guess we can try it and see what it does. Move, bang, go path. Foo. Cannot stat, bang, go path. This must be some special syntax that there. What is xglob? I guess I could set that shops-s xglob. Can't just pass a Python script and have it do Python. Yeah, that would be nice. Move, bang, go path, foo. Yeah, I have no idea what this syntax is. Someone more clever than me wrote this, I guess. Also, this is their special syntax, which is basically directives to the runner that causes it do stuff. sorry, somebody asked me a question in IRC, so I had to answer them. See, creates. Yeah, I still don't know what's going on here. But I think I can just do this without without this complication. Module path. Yeah. System.default working directory. Yeah, so I think we'll do this. Need that. So that says our go path. We need to copy into module path. I'm not going to use their naming though. Go path / source.github.com/build.repository.name. It's assuming GitHub, which is silly because I like how their docs, like they're not even selling their own platform. They're just like, oh yeah, you're definitely using GitHub. So at least they know what's up. Go bin. I think we need to care about that. So we really just need this, I think. Let me look at what my Travis.yaml code does. Sets a go path, puts it on the path, uses rsync to move stuff, and installs go. Yeah, so I don't actually need to set up the bender at all, but I do want to put it on the path. Okay, so it's called script. They indent it one more? They do. Maker-p module path. How do they quote that? This module underscore path, and then they prepend path. This is display name, not name, and display name. Prepend path, this will be go path / bin. Oh, we need to do whatever this is doing. I have no idea what this is doing. But I think I can use CP. I used rsync before, and I don't remember why. I suspect rsync is not going to be around on Windows, though. Let's see. How can I validate this? I assume that they're just using git bash. And I don't have rsync installed, so I don't expect them to install rsync. So probably can't use rsync. The problem is basically what we want to do is make it so that dot files also get moved. So we want like cp-r, I think it's /dot. And we want a directory that's already existing. Go path /baz. cp-r /dot go path /baz. Cannot copy a directory into itself. That is true. Then what the hell? How does this work? Oh, I know what this is doing. Oh, but I don't know how this syntax works. So this is moving everything that's not the Go path into this directory. Never seen this syntax before. Yeah. The problem is this doesn't include dot files. Dash blob. Let's see what other shell options there are. Star. Dot glob. That sounds like what I want. If set, bash includes file names beginning with a dot and the results of the file name expansion. The file names dot and dot dot must be smash. Okay, so if we dot glob. Okay, that looks. It's crazy, but it looks like what I want. So I can. How do I use shopped? Each opt name. So can I do dot glob and x glob at the same time? Looks like it. So weird. Not go path to module path. I guess I learned something every day. I had no idea that this was a globbing syntax. But I think that'll work. So make the target directory. Enable the special globbing features, and then move everything that's not the Go path into it. Hopefully that works. And then what's the next part? So we simplified their code. They don't need all this complicated stuff. Install the dependencies. So then we'll use go get. And then we'll run go test. We'll just not manage that at all. Wait, what is go build? I don't know. I don't think we need it. I clearly don't know enough about Go to actually answer these questions, but that's fine. Module path. Oh, pre-test should come before doing all this, probably. Don't you use Go at work? Yeah, I do. But not enough that I actually know the right way to do things. Unfortunately, a lot of the Go that I do at work is kind of hand-waved away and like, here's tools that do all the work for you, and I honestly haven't spent enough time looking into the tools to actually learn how all of them tick. Partially because I don't see myself writing that much Go in my free time, and so I don't know that it's super important for me to actually learn how all this stuff works. Whereas like, I write a ton of Python in my free time, so it's worth it for me to dig into things and figure out how all of them work. But I don't know, maybe I should do that for Go, but I think I'll copy and paste the bare minimum, and if it works, then it works. If it doesn't work, then I have to figure stuff out. But I suspect, I mean, I think this will work. We'll find out. Go path and this. So hopefully that works. Add go test job template. Okay, so hopefully this works how I want it to work. But we can try this now. We know this works. And this is hooked up to that branch. Azure pipelines, skip Travis, and skip that there. Make Freakman hooks. Azure templates? Azure templates, I meant Azure pipelines. Pipelines, I can't talk. What am I doing? So we'll make a PR like before. Spelled Atbearer right and Travis right, good. So hopefully this will start building here. Or start erroring, one or the other. Come on, figure it out. Frantically pressing F5. Azure pimples, yeah. Come on. Figure out that my YAML is broken. You can do it, I believe. Azure pimples, no, that's a product. Yeah. Microsoft Azure facial cream. That'll be the day. Although I'm sure like many of the acne products are actually, they have enterprise software that runs on Microsoft somewhere at some point. Why are you not running? What is going on here? I could manually kick it off, I guess. I'm tired of waiting. Or we can look at the webhooks. And these are all set up. Oh, there's only 3 here. I think there was 4 last time. I don't know. Alright, we're just gonna manually queue one. I'm tired of waiting. Azure pipelines queue. An error occurred while loading the YAML. Did I typo the file name? Azure pipelines.yaml. Azure pipelines. Aw, damn it! No, that's not what I want. I screwed up. I screwed up, guys. Rename / move? I'll go back to the other screen. I need to change the settings on this because I put YAML instead of YML. I guess I can delete it and start over. Because I don't see any other option here that would be like modify it other than this button. But this just like literally tries to modify a YAML file. Maybe if I go back to this view. Pipelines overview. It's gone. Where did it go? No, no, I can't even delete it. Oh, please take me back to the view. Okay, good. We're back here. Maybe I can get the recently closed tab that contains it. Let's see, history. Recently closed webhooks. Nope. I don't think so, unless it's this tab. Nope. Alright, so we'll delete this pipeline, we'll create a new one. Because I typoed something. That's not the name. Maybe Azure's just a front end to Travis. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. That would be something special. Okay, GitHub. YAML. Apply. Azure pipelines.yml. Get it right this time, even though this doesn't do anything. Then we'll save. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna give me a new badge, so I'll have to go. I'm gonna leave this open in case I need to change it. I don't know why it wouldn't let me just modify it. Kind of annoying. But whatever. Status badge, and if this isn't 14, is that what we got before? I don't even know. No, we had 13, so we'll never have unlucky number 13. So maybe this will actually trigger now. That looks like it did something, maybe? No? Also, this is really annoying. This setting is invalid, but clearly it let me save, so must not be invalid. Recycle bin. You know it's a Windows product when it has a trash bin built in. Okay, I'm not gonna wait for this. We're just gonna queue it. Azure pipelines. Go. Oh, doing something. Well, it looks like my YAML was valid, and oh, breaking my chair, and started both of these jobs. That's promising. But yeah, if this were Travis, it would have only started these first 5 jobs. But instead we get to start all of them at once, which is pretty nice. And on Travis, I was only allowed to pick one image type, whereas with Azure, I can kind of have my own split jobs. Like this is the Go job, and these are the Python jobs. Which Pokemon starter type do you always start off with? I think I've switched based on the generation. Let's see, Pokemon starters. Let's see if I can get the nice that 7x3 grid. I can circle the ones that I went with. Here's some starters. Adorable Pokemon. Wait, why is this a YouTube video? Oh goodness, that was loud. I'm so sorry, headphone users like me. I just want to see the this image. We'll look at this image. And so I can go generation by generation, which one I picked. No, stop, go away. So first gen, yeah, while this is building, or while this has failed, we'll go back and fix that in a minute. First gen, I picked Squirtle, although I played first gen probably like 100 or 200 times, because I was very bored as a kid. But I really liked Blastoise because he was pretty cool. But I picked Squirtle. I also like Charizard. I also like Venusaur too, but like Squirtle was my go-to. I kind of skipped second gen, but when I went back and played, I picked Totodile. I'm starting to see the trend here. Like I'm gonna pick water types for almost all of these. I liked Totodile. I almost never pick grass. I feel like no one picks grass. Although I did really like Chikorita, although as soon as it evolved, I didn't like Bayleaf, and I didn't like Meganium. So rip those guys. Third gen, I love Mudkip. So the meme about like, do you like Mudkips? Like, yeah, I do like Mudkips. Like I really liked Mudkip. So I would always pick this and get Swampert. Is my stream still working? I'm getting a network error. Okay, it's back now. All right. Weird. But yeah, I really liked Mudkip, so I always picked Mudkip. I think I really like the third gen starters. They're just kind of good. Also, Swampert gets really great types. So I heard you like Mudkips. Yes, I do. We also had this like prank that we would play in college where if you left your computer unlocked, we would change the desktop background to Mudkips and like all of the Windows sounds to be like Mudkip, Mudkip. We would Mudkips each other's computers. So that was, I don't know, fun, I guess. Although once I got Mudkips the first time, I was like, no, I'm locking this shit. Like, I'm not. This is not happening again. Did I make a program for that too? No, we just like manually did it. We did have. There was this website where we could go to that like had all of the images and sound assets available. So it was like just click and drag kind of deal. But I think the website's gone because last time I tried to find it, it was not there. But this time I was trying to mess with somebody at work. So, but yeah, I my first playthrough of 3rd gen, I actually picked Trico. But then my next N playthroughs, I picked Mudkip. 4th gen, I really liked the idea of having a penguin as a starter, and so I went with Piplup, and I named it Tux, like the Linux penguin, because I thought that was funny. Yeah, I picked Piplup there. I didn't really like. Oh, I don't even remember his name. He evolves into Grottle and then ground grass type. Why can't I remember his name? Yeah, I didn't really like the grass starter. Also, it was like 4x weak to ice, which kind of sucked. And Infernape was a cool design, although like firefighting kind of got old after a while. 5th gen, I didn't play very much 5th gen. I think 5th gen I traded and started with all 3 starters, but I liked the design of Snivy a lot. So there's my one grass starter. Oh yeah, Torterra, yeah, that's what it's called. There's my one grass starter. Well, I guess not my one grass starter because I picked another one, but we'll get to that. I picked Froakie because I love frogs. Frogs are my favorite animal, and I was so happy to finally have a frog Pokemon starter. But I also thought Chespin was a good design. I wasn't too plussed about Fennekin. That line was pretty boring for me. And then 7th gen, I feel like I had a hard choice between Rowlet and... damn, what is this guy's name? Bulbasaur is a frog? Is it, though? It could be. It's also like a... I don't know. Maybe it's a frog. It's like borderline frog. Although, I guess, what was the, like... Venusaur, walk animation, Pokemon, let's go. Like, I think this confirmed that Venusaur is a frog. Oh, we do not need the sound here. There's the one with Venusaur. Yeah, like this kind of confirms that it's a frog. So like I'll take it. Also, this was like super unsettling the first time I saw this. I was like, that was not how I expected Venusaur to walk. Because kind of in the anime, he just kind of like, I don't know, walks like a, I don't know. In Detective Pikachu, he's a frog. Okay, that's fair. That one's so funny. Oh, I have this fun image. Let me see if I can find it. Is it still on my Facebook page? But it's this image of an Electrode that I really like. It's pretty depressing, but I also think it's funny. Previous, yeah, here we go. This was my Facebook banner for the longest time. Just an Electrode that, why do I have these self-destructive tendencies? I don't remember where I got the original image from, but I like modified it so it's a bit nicer for, like the profile photo sits like here, but to me IRL for me IRL. Yeah. Depression's real. It happens. I struggle from it, so I don't blame you guys. Get help. It definitely helps. But yeah. But yeah, I actually picked Rowlet. I can't remember his name. I know it evolves into Incineroar, and just now like one of the most used Pokemon in competitive. But yeah, that's my array of starters. I haven't looked at the new starters yet, so I don't know which one I'll pick there, but I'm kind of excited about 8th gen. All these all failed. Wow, great. Go get dependencies failed. Cannot find package. Oh. Really? But there's a vendor directory. It shouldn't have done this. Oh, maybe I didn't. That's weird. So this repository has submodules in it. And so it should have checked out these submodules. Unless it doesn't work anymore. Well, we're gonna drop frames. Ready for this, guys? We're dropping frames. Although apparently I've already dropped 30 frames. And I don't remember when I would have done that. But yeah, here we go. Sorry, guys. Maybe we won't do this. Yeah, we're gonna not drop frames. It does actually clone, so that part's fine, I guess. But this makes me think that it doesn't clone in Azure pipelines. Submodules. Options for Git repositories. Submodules. When editing a pipeline, you have the following options. Check out submodules. Select that if you want to download files from submodules. If you can't use this option, then you can use a custom script to... That's annoying. So is that not on by default? I wonder? It's weird. Like, I think it would... I guess I can look at the jobs, because it literally does everything here. So initialize agent did nothing. Prepare job. Execution matrix. Initialize job. Not there. Checkout. Set up repository. Fetch. No recurse submodules, so that seems relevant. Yeah, so it doesn't use submodules here, so how do we make it use submodules?
If you talk all the time, you'll never hear what anybody else thinks.
So I know there's some YAML setting here that you have to stick in your file.
That means when I use the word think,
Oh, that's... Oh.
subvocal conversation.
Agent pools. What is this? No, I don't think that's it either.
Talk words inside your skull. Now, if you do that all the time, you'll find that you've nothing to think about.
Docs haven't merged yet. The syntax will be this.
Just as you have to stop talking to hear what others have to say, you have to stop thinking.
Resources, repo self, submodules true.
And the moment you stop thinking, you become into immediate contact with
Okay.
the unspeakable.
Wait. Unexpected repositories. Here we go. It's so obnoxious. But okay, we'll make that happen.
Will blow the world.
This line up? Yeah. I don't know why, but this seems like it's further left than all the other ones. Maybe because R and C don't line up very well. Oh, we lost this here. This forces submodules to get checked out. I wish that was the default, because like, make way more sense. But oh well. But also because this failed, that tells me that Docker has moved their internals around, so I should probably at some point update the vendor directory so it points at the latest copy of Docker, but that'll be for another day. Okay, so we named this right, I think I can safely close this tab now. Manage. Button do. What is going on here? Oh well, not important. Yeah, I can close that now and we can start looking at this. So it said my YAML was fine, so that's good. Checkout. Okay, so it's checking out my submodules now. And this is gonna take forever because the Docker Git repository is huge. Azure pipelines, checkout options. I like how this is the only thing that lists this. Like, really? Couldn't put this in the doc somewhere? Oh, something dinged. I don't know what that was. Oh well. Oh, I wonder if I set this, if it'll do that for submodules also. This also seems like a good default. Why is this not the default? I get that ding when I close a tab with an active Control F. Huh. Maybe it's a Control F that doesn't match something? Weird. But yeah, that's probably what it was. Thanks, .nest. It's kind of obnoxious that this isn't the default. This seems like a good default to me. Like if you have LFS, if you don't have LFS, this is probably a no-op. If you don't have submodules, this is a no-op. This is a good default. And this is a good default. So I'm kind of a little bit bummed that this is not the default setting, but submodules must have been an afterthought. Well, this takes forever. Oh wait, we finished here. Run tests. Oh. These tests passed, but these ones did not. So it looks like I need to actually install Python in the for the Go tests. So I need to install Go for the Python tests and Python for the Go tests. That's great. Okay, so let's do that. Fortunately, I added the pretest to this as well, so we don't have to worry about that. Job Python. This use Python version. That's what we want here. And we'll just install 3.7 because that's the newest one. So the Go jobs install Python, and the Python jobs install Go. But I guess I should see if these finished, if these other things finished. Okay, so all the Python jobs finished, which is good. And most of the Go tests passed, just not the Python parts. So this will make the Python parts pass. I have a reminder for myself, which looks like a blank piece of paper, but this used to have stamps on it, and I'm out of stamps, and so it's sticky, so it keeps like sticking to my arm. So I don't know, it's bothering me, so I figured I'd mention it. But it's a reminder that I need to buy stamps, and I guess it's good that it's bothering me, because that way I'll remember. But I haven't. I ran out of stamps because I did something dumb. I have to mail in a rent check once a month, and I was in a hurry when I did my rent last month, and I wrote the right number in the box, but then you have to spell out the number of dollars in words, and I forgot a word, and so the bank rejected my check, and so I had to write a new one, and I used one more stamp than I expected to, so now I have to gotta go to the post office and buy more stamps. But oh well. Such is life. You make mistakes, sometimes you waste stamps. Okay. So hopefully this will work this time. What is it doing? Well, what do you mean Python's not installed? We installed Python right here, though. Why is this 2.7? Did I type 2.7? I meant 3.7. What's going on here? Oh, this is what I want. I have no idea why this didn't work. It seems like it should have. I found at H, no such file or directory. What was my test command before? I guess I still have travis.yaml, so I can look at it here. Oh, I just ran go test-v. Oh. Probably because I need some like special compile flag to make this work. So this is the file that's failing to compile right now, is this this file here. And I can't remember I can't remember why or like how this is supposed to work. I don't know why. So I might have to make like a variable that I substitute in that causes it to not test recursively. Ugh. But I don't remember how to do that. This is why I wish I knew slightly more Go, because like the go test command it takes a module path or whatever. Oh, I guess I could export a variable, because that's I think how goes acetylase set up tools golang. Okay, maybe this is slightly more complicated than that. Yeah, we set extra C flags that make it work. And those are based on the setup tools stuff, so that's not gonna work. So I guess we make a setting. Oh, that's a bummer. So tests will default to // ... but we'll make it possible to, is it failing at go get, or is it failing at go test? I wonder. Okay, so if it succeeds on go get, which is kind of weird to me, but that's fine. So this will be our tests variable. And so here we use the parameter syntax and not the, actually I think it's like this. This Go thing is complicated, yeah. Well, to be fair, like, the project that I built is trying to tie a lot of things that aren't exactly designed to work together. Like setup tools Golang, basically you build a Python module using the setup tools machinery that calls into Go, and the way it calls into Go is by using the C API. Where's sample examples? Yeah, so you have like, no, not that one. Yeah, so you have like a little bit of C stuff. You export a function that will come from Go, and then you write some Go code that uses C types to basically call the Python stuff. And then yeah, I mean, it's a little crazy. And this is usually figured out by using package config, but because we don't want package config to take over in the setup tools case, we inject the linking and C flags directly so that this resolves. That's why this is a little bit weird. But I don't know. Hopefully this works. Get diff. And we'll document this like we did before. So we need to set tests here to be the empty string, I think. Only test the top level. Maybe dot? I don't know. I don't know enough Go to know the right thing to put here. But before it was just... Before we didn't pass any parameters here. But I don't know, we'll try dot. If that doesn't work, we'll try empty string, and hopefully one of those works. I push this? I think. Maybe I pushed it. Hopefully I pushed it. We'll find out in a minute. Oh, you're still alive. What terminal is that? Oh, sorry. I did eventually answer you, but I'm sorry I didn't answer you up front. So this is GNOME terminal, which is the default terminal that ships with Ubuntu. I actually run a fork of the terminal because of there's a feature that I like, which you see me do occasionally, where I will grab a tab and drop it over here, and it'll create a new window. That's actually disabled by default because it can cause the terminal to completely crash. And I can trigger the crash. Actually, do I have anything important? I can show you the crash. Kind of amusing. But like if I drag these around, sometimes it'll crash. Oh, I trigger it. Does it drop here? No. Oh, there we go. Wait, did it do it? Yeah, I think that crashed it. No? Of course, now that I say that it crashes, I can't actually get it to reproduce. Why are you so hard to reproduce? Usually it's like 50% of the time it will crash. But apparently today it doesn't want to... Oh, there we go. Okay, so it should crash now. Which is kind of broken, and that's actually why they disabled tab tearing inside of terminals. So, but I like tab tearing, so I turn it on. Let me start up the chat bot again. Not that anyone's interacting with it, but Python. Okay, it's still working. But yeah. So I actually run a patched version of GNOME terminal. Was it GNOME terminal broken? I think I called it. Yeah. So I run my own custom version package. GNOME terminal. So you can see the version number has my name in it, and I built it with this patch here, which takes out this if zero and allows tabs to be detachable. But Debian packaging, hand wavy. I think I saw that this failed again, which I'm kind of bummed about. What? Why is it still running this? That means I probably forgot to push. Yep, forgot to push. Dang it. Is security/privacy one of the reasons why you're running a VM? What's the main reason? Not really, although sometimes I do run untrusted code in VMs, and that is like a good reason to use a virtual machine. But for me, the reason I use a virtual machine is I'd rather use Linux tools, so I like to use Linux. But also, like I play video games and I like to context switch, and dual booting is kind of a lot of work for me, and I'm more familiar with the like non-programming tools on Windows, and so I'm kind of happier working there. But I like to program in Linux, so virtual machines give me a nice way to do that. Also, I pretty frequently just like completely brick the operating system. I spend some time like playing with Debian packaging, and like I package backports of Python, and occasionally I'll do something dumb and brick my system. And like the biggest one for me is like upgrading the kernel and then breaking my system, and that happens to me more often than it should. And so with a VM, it's easy for me to just like start over from scratch, or checkpoint and start over from a checkpoint. That is to say, like, I do dual boot in some cases. So like my work laptop is a MacBook Pro, but I really don't like Mac OS, so I dual boot on my work laptop, and it works pretty well there. But I don't play video games there, so I don't really need to dual boot in that case. Although sometimes I have to debug Windows stuff, and so I'll run a Windows virtual machine in Linux. So I kind of have the flip-flop from there. So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, security and privacy is a good point, but not the reason that I use virtual machines. I don't know if I asked you this before, but what are some projects I can make as a beginner? So it's a good question. I think like good beginner projects are things that I think like the best projects are things that you're motivated to work on. So like find some inconvenience that you want to solve, or like find some task that you want to automate, and try and do that. That said, if you're looking for a project where it's like, I want to dive into some technology and I just want to learn some stuff, a good one that I've been suggesting recently is try and build a chatbot. things like like a Discord bot or like a Slack bot or something where like you can make silly commands like the ones that I did, like like my Twitch chat bot. That was actually a good learning experience for me because I hadn't dealt with like async IO before, so it was an excuse for me to try and do stuff. Got it, thanks. I was thinking about streaming myself, learning programming and doing my own first projects, but was worried that I could somehow allow some bad people to see something they could use to do bad things. I mean, I've been pretty safe so far, although there... I think people are more likely to just troll you on Twitch than they are to, like, do malicious stuff to you. Like... I think there's a clip of it somewhere, but... I'm pretty ashamed of it, but like someone was like, I need help with my code, and I was like, oh, I'll help you with your code because I'm genuinely a nice person who'll help them with their code. And so they sent me a paste bin and they're like, I have a syntax error, can you help me with it? And I just like ran their code without actually reading it because I was like, oh yeah, syntax error, cool, like running it will show the syntax error. It did not. The code was not nice code. It printed terrible things to the screen, and I don't know, I was pretty embarrassed about it, but it was, and they got me. It was funny. But now I make sure to actually read code before I just blindly run it. But yeah, for the most part, like, there's not really much risk that you're subjecting yourself to, and like I think I've definitely showed my IP address on stream before, and like I'm not afraid. Like, I have a firewall, like there's not really anything people can do to me, but like this is actually one of my first projects that I ever wrote was this website. The idea was to like make dynamic images, where's open in a new tab, make dynamic images that could show like your IP address. And so this was one of my first projects. That's why these gradients look so hideous. This is probably the only color scheme that I actually really liked from the random image. But it was kind of a cool project, and like you could customize stuff to like pick colors. So like, I don't know, background, pick something that's not hideous, like navy, and then text color being like I don't know, deep sky blue. I don't know, but this was one of my first projects, was to like dynamically create these images, center this text, like put these images in place. It's kind of broken right now. Like, I'm definitely not running NT 4.0, but I never updated the detection to work for newer versions of Windows. I think I found it. Yes, you definitely found the clip. That is definitely the clip. Actually, I'm not gonna rerun it. You guys can watch the clip if you want, but it's pretty awful. Some people are mean on Twitch, and I think I got what I deserved anyway, so probably fine. Did I push these things? Am I waiting on stuff this run? Build pipeline failed. Unrecognized value tests. Oh, it's parameters.tests. I remember the same code with secret stuff. I could have seen it at r/livestreamfail. Yeah, it probably wasn't me on livestreamfail, but it was probably the same type of idea. It's I don't know. It was copy pasta. It got me though, because I trusted people, and I've learned. I'm not gonna do that again. So I'm just making a new commit here, and then making a new commit here to re-trigger the pipeline again. Although I didn't actually trigger last time because I had a mistake. But that's fine. Get another build here. Watch that one. Hopefully succeed this time. That was weird. It like expanded these after the fact. But yeah, this is one of my first projects. It's really, the code's really awful. I think it's probably PHP dash. Forget my naming scheme. It's private repository, so it probably won't show up there. Forget what I called it. Figure it out in a sec. Well, that's the type of person that I'm afraid of meeting if I'd stream. There could be very dedicated people monitoring the programming channel and having fun, sometimes more malicious than what happened in the clip. Yeah, but I guess like my advice is don't run code from strangers that you don't understand. Like you saw at the beginning of the stream, or if you were here at the beginning of the stream, we debugged some code that where is it? Oh, it's too far up, chat. We debugged some code that was like some grade calculation code, and I was very careful to look at every line of the code before I ran it. But I don't know. I think most people are nice. It's the few bad apples that hopefully don't ruin it for everyone else. I've seen someone make it where you paste a Bitcoin address, it turns into another one like a scam. Oh yeah. So my GitHub user profile, because I'm a bit of a GitHub power user, crashes GitHub pretty often. So sometimes I have to refresh my user page a couple of times. Oh, but I was showing you terrible code that runs IP now. Oh, it's a dash, not a dot. But like, what is one of the images? Custom OS image. This code isn't too bad. It used to be way worse. Oh, I guess I can show you the browser detection code. That part's really bad. Get user vars, is that what it is? Oh, I hope this doesn't show my passwords, because there's database passwords in here, I think. Yeah, this is before I realized that checking in database passwords was a bad idea. Let me make sure they aren't in the in that script. Where is this? Oh, includes what? Where did that code go? T. Oh, it was right there. MySQL Connect. Alright, is the password in here? MySQL. Okay, it's not in here, so I can show you this code. So this was my like user agent browser detection code. It starts out fine, like initialize everything to nothing. And then we get down to here where we're checking some spyware with these great if statements here. Here's like domain parsing. Apparently I have a database of refer domains. I don't know what that's about. And here's where we get to the browser detection. Oh wait, no, this is still .NET runtimes. Blah 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 blah. Oh, this isn't even the browser detection. Where's the browser detection? That part's really ugly. Get browser.php. Get browser.php. Yeah, so this file is just like a bunch of if statements. It's like, check all these things and check all these things. I don't know how this doesn't false positive all the time. Like the word nav means it's escape, obviously. But yeah, there was a bunch of code for detecting various different types of browsers, and you know, 550 lines of just if statements. So some of I come from humble beginnings where my code wasn't that great, I guess. That's one of the examples of stuff I could forget because I'm not used to streaming. Leaking something would not be a fun time. Yeah, I've definitely... So I've also leaked, like, repository tokens on stream, and fortunately I've, like, noticed it and just refreshed them. So that wasn't a big deal. What would be the better way to do these if statements? I would probably just have, like, a list of substrings and what the answer is. Like, this could be a bunch of structured data instead of a bunch of if statements, and then I would just loop over the structured data. Although I don't think I have access to FTP anymore, so I don't know that I can actually fix the website because my friend actually owns the domain, though I wrote almost all the code. Can I ask which company you work for? Yes, I work for a company called Lyft. If you haven't heard of Lyft, they're basically Uber, but less shitty, I guess. Or at least that's what that's how I think of it. And before I worked at Lyft, I worked at a company called Yelp, which does local business reviews. Their webpage loads way slower than Lyft's does. I worked at Yelp for 5 years, and before that, I worked at an enterprise software company called Infor. Hope that's their website. Yeah, which is like super enterprisey. Like, very much cog in the machine. But, I don't know, Lyft and Yelp are way cooler. Do I want to work at Google? Is Mindful Fox still in the chat? I don't know. Like, when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, Google would be sweet. I want to work at Google. But then, I don't know, I think if I wanted to, or like, when I get to a point where I want to, like, have a family and like not, I don't know, I feel like Google has gotten too big is what I'm trying to say. Like I'd be happier at a smaller place than at Google, because I feel like you're a tiny splash in a giant pond there, whereas like at Lyft there's, well, when I joined it was like 500 engineers, now there's like 1,000. I can make more of an impact at that size. And like certainly when I joined Yelp, there were 115 engineers, and I was definitely able to make a big impact there. But at Google, like, you're one of thousands and thousands and thousands of engineers, so it's harder to like, you know, make yourself, I guess, known there. Oh sweet, this succeeded. Let's make sure it actually ran tests though. Yeah, those are the tests that we expected to run, so that works. All that's left is to do the 32-bit thing on Windows. So I don't know how that's gonna work. But I think we'll have a script task. And here we need to like download 32-bit Go. Download Golang. Do I know what Overwatch is? Yes. A bunch of my friends play it. I've never played Overwatch myself, but I have watched a few people play. And a couple of my friends, I think, actually stream Overwatch. Let's see. Yes. Is he watching right now? Or is he streaming right now? No. Let's see, what has he played recently? I don't know this game. Smile. Is he playing Dark Souls 2? But yeah, David plays some Overwatch. And it's Ryan's channel? Yeah, it looks like he was playing PUBG before. But he was playing, yeah, he plays a lot of Overwatch. Does he have 112 videos? Oh, I guess that was before Twitch, like, took down a bunch of the, or they take down recent videos now. I heard it was written in Python. I don't think so. What programming language is Overwatch written in? Looks like C++. Oh, wait. Engine is written in C++, tools are in C#. Yeah, it's pretty typical. There are some AAA games written in Python. Games written in Python. I forget which ones though. Civ 4. Add-ons and functionality. Oh yeah, Eve. Eve is the big one that I was thinking of. It's Python. Oh right, I need this page. Let's see. We'll download this zip. And I'll actually do this interactively so I can figure out how this works. Do we have curl? Sure. Curl -o go.zip and this URL. Hey, what's up, dude man 007? One, two, three, four. Not doing any 3-space indents here. Where did this thing go? Oh, and we're gonna drop frames probably. Oh, this is gonna take forever. Maybe we won't drop frames here. It's gonna take another 3 minutes, so guess we can take questions while this happens. That's interesting to know. I'd never expect some company to actively use Python in games. Yeah, Python's pretty slow. But I can see like a game like Eve using Python because they're mostly like, if I remember right, it's mostly like a kind of slow-paced, eventually happening game. But no, I've never played Eve myself. Play the free record-breaking space sandbox MMO game. Going for all of the tag spam in their title there. Let's see, close some of these tabs. We'll need this tab in a bit. Actually, no, we won't. We'll need this tab in a bit. So it only took like 7 pushes to get this green. But now we'll get the Windows stuff working after this. Some use Python, but normally not for the engine. Yeah, definitely not for the engine, because you kind of need the engine to be super fast. And Python is not. Do you think I should learn CSS and JavaScript on the side? Yeah, I think CSS and JavaScript are useful. Maybe CSS a little less, though. It depends on what you want to do. Like, if you want to be a web developer, then yeah, definitely learn CSS and JavaScript. But if you're just like, you want to be a backend developer or like, I don't know, then don't bother as much. I think JavaScript is kind of useful whether or not you want to be a front end or back end developer, because it's kind of like one thing that I do with JavaScript that is kind of universally useful is like I have a bunch of user scripts. But can I show some of them without giving away? Let's see, which ones do I have installed first off? Let me find some code that doesn't actually expose what I'm working on, so I can show you what I'm talking about. Sure, this seems fine. Yeah. So, oh, let me find one of my own pull requests. Or one that's not gonna bother people. This one. This one's not gonna bother people. So, like, one part of our workflow at work is a... Oh, didn't mean to do that. One part of our workflow, can you guys see that? No, you can't. Let me resize the window then. One part of our workflow at work is we use emoji-driven development, which I know sounds ridiculous, and it is ridiculous. But some of the emojis have special effects, and they cause our build system to react. And if you look at a normal GitHub UI for a pull request, this is just a pull request that enables some feature in one of our repositories. There usually aren't these emoji buttons here, but I wrote a script, which, let's see if we can look at the script. Emit queue buttons, I think that's what it is. I wrote this script which injects these buttons here, and when you click on them, it inserts, where's the part where it inserts it? Oh yeah, it sets the value of the comment field and then submits it. So, for instance, if I click on this hamburger button here, it will put a hamburger in the box and then comment directly on there. And so it saves me typing a colon and then typing hamburger and then pressing tab and then clicking this button. So it's just like a tiny quality of life improvement. But Grease Monkey is a way that you can kind of inject script into pages and customize their behaviors. The hamburger causes a rebuild, which I think is pretty funny. But yeah, I actually think the emojis are a little bit gimmicky, but I don't know, it's kind of a cool thing to some extent. You can also type out the long forms, which is like, please rebuild this branch for me, instead of using the hamburger emoji. The reason it's hamburger is because it's actually hammer, but if you type ham, hamburger tab completes before hammer does, so they made it an alias. But there's there's a few. One of my other favorite ones is sob. This will cause the branch to get reverted immediately. I think it's funny. But anyway, we have a bunch of emojis, and they all mean a bunch of different things. Rocket is merge this branch, please. And rocket check is merge this branch, please, when test pass. And then there's rocket pray, which is I don't care if the test pass, I don't care if I have to ship it, just merge it anyway. Just kind of the one that you're never really supposed to use, but they're funny, they're fun, I guess. But yeah, I don't like typing them out, so I've made buttons for the common ones that I click all the time. But that's one example of like where JavaScript is kind of useful, because it's kind of a scripting language that gets used in a lot of places. And if you're doing web development, then it's essential. But that's one of my user scripts. You might have also seen this other one. Oh wait, what's this one? Oh, this one's good. The ship it one is one of my favorites. So let's say I'm looking at a pull request that anyway, I'm not actually going to approve this because I haven't read through the code and read it yet. But when I click review changes here, and I click approve here, I have a script. Oh, it didn't work. Why didn't it work that time? When I click approve, yeah. When I click approve, it puts an image in this box, which is a random GIF from a page of ship it GIFs. And in this case, it's a cat that's like, please ship it. Go you. It comes from this page, github.io/shipit. And so there's a bunch of these ship it GIFs, and I'm probably gonna drop frames here, but while they all load, this one's loading one frame at a time. But there's a bunch of GIFs here that are like, you done good, and it'll pick a random one from this and post it on their code review. Some of them are a little bit creepy, like this one. And then there's the ones at the bottom, which are like, don't ship it. Which, before I fixed the script, I accidentally posted this cat on someone's code review. So, yikes. Fortunately, GitHub has an edit button, so I was able to fix that one pretty quickly. But Yeah, ship it gifs. But that user script triggers when I click on this button. But anyway, JavaScript's kind of good for that. Oh, this finally downloaded, I think. So then we'll do unzip go.zip, which is gonna print a bunch of stuff to the screen. Unzip. I guess I should put this at like temp/go.zip, maybe. One day I should make that a Twitch chat. Most fave emotes can be clicked only once and it sends in chat. Oh, I see. I hope I find a team that's as fun as this. Yeah. How do you like Azure pipelines? Better than Travis CI? I'm thinking of trying to convince people at work to switch it for our open source repos since Travis is being gutted. So I think Azure pipelines is a lot more powerful. Like, it gives you a lot more features. It's also faster from what I've seen, because you can start 10 jobs in parallel instead of 5, which is pretty nice. The like downsides to it is it's a lot of like fiddly stuff to get set up with. Like with Travis, in order to enable a repo, you literally just click a switch and it's enabled. But with Azure, you have to like, I can show you like how much work it is. You start by clicking 1 click, 2 clicks, 3, plus some keystrokes here. What's a repo that I can switch? Some keystrokes here, then a 4th click, 5th click, I don't know, 5, 6, change the name here, type this here. I actually made a typo here earlier and wasted a bunch of time on that. But like it's a lot of clicking to make this stuff work, which is a little bit frustrating. And then like after that you click through here to grab status badge, and it's kind of a lot of work. Like, I mostly figured it out because I've done it a bunch of times, but it's a lot to set up. And like copying and pasting this to get the coverage support, and then I have to find the number here and replace out this number with 15. So it's a little bit of work there. I wonder if it's what's behind the scenes for GitHub Actions, if I ever get access to play with that. Yeah, I applied for the beta like forever ago, and I still haven't gotten approved for it, which is really annoying. I'd really like to try GitHub Actions, but I haven't, unfortunately haven't been approved for that yet. I even tried to like throw my weight and be like, yeah, look, I maintain this 2700 star repository, and I work on Flake 8, which is used by literally everyone in Python, and oh, I also work on PyTest, which is used by everyone in Python. Can you approve me? I'd really like to spread the word. And they're like, haha, no, wait in line. So I tried, but alas. What is Advent of Code? Oh, that was a cool thing that you probably keep seeing the tab complete up here. So Advent of Code is a series of puzzles that they release 1 per day in December. And it was actually really cool. I streamed it this December and a little bit into January because I didn't finish in December. But it's basically like some programming puzzles. The first ones are pretty easy, and like they ramp up in difficulty as the days go on. And so like I streamed my solutions to it in Python. This doesn't help you because everyone has unique puzzles. But the first one was pretty easy. Like, it gives you a bunch of numbers in order, and you have to like parse the numbers and produce the result. But then they got way more complicated after that. But I hosted my solutions on GitHub, and so you can see like my solutions for each day. I should have zero padded these so that they were in order, because this bothers me, but whatever. But some of the puzzles involved like figuring out secret messages. Some of them involved like pathing through. Let's see, was day 16 was a pathing one? No, 15. Yeah. So this one was like there are goblins and elves, and they're trying to kill each other and like figure out how they path and attack each other. And I don't know. It was a bunch of cool different little puzzles that I hacked through. Right, so back to this. So it looks like I have a separate lint job, which isn't going to work with my template, so I'm going to have to switch that up a little bit. So we didn't actually test on Windows before, I don't think. Not fair? No. So we can just not test on Windows, which is fine by me. But we'll use the same stuff as before, but we'll do a Pi37 lint job. Will be a great thing for me to go through as a Python beginner. Thanks to your both. Yeah, advent of code is a lot of fun. And if you ever get stuck, like, there's usually other people that have solutions, and there's like a cool subreddit community that happened. Not GitHub. I did it again. Dang it. Reddit.com. Advent of code. So there's like a cool. Oh, I have to go to old because otherwise it's ugly as sin. But yeah, like Advent of Code had a whole subreddit, and the creator actually stopped by my stream one day, which was pretty cool. But it was pretty exciting. And I look forward to doing it next year. I might also go back and do previous years, because this was my first year trying Advent of Code, so might go back and replay some old years just for the lulz of it. All right, so I need to make this actually exist, but then this should work, and then I'll set up another repository with Azure Pipelines. Let's I36. Don't run coverage when our implementation is not used. Right. How did this work before? Jumping back and forth. Okay, so the lint was run with Python 3.6, so we want to also do that again, but instead we can use Python 3.7. But we want to test Python 3.5 to make sure that it still works. So I guess I'll set it up like this. So PyPy 3, 2.7, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, and then lint. I guess like this-ish. And then Pi 3.7 lint. We'll just get rid of this up here. Pi 3.7 lint, and then all these other ones. Sure, close enough. Oh, actually I can replace this with my other job, which is tricky. But I couldn't have done that before, which is kind of neat. Oh, I wonder why I did this here. Kind of weird. This project's kind of different than the other ones. I guess it's a good thing that I looked at it. But we're not using coveralls anymore, so I can just get rid of this. Get rid of that. That looks right. I'm hoping this works on the first try. We'll find out. Azure pipelines, and then we want to also do a pre-commit job here. Job pre-commit. How does this work? Oh, just that. That's all I need for pre-commit. I don't need this linked job anymore. Okay, I think this is what my pipeline will look like. Azure pipelines, get Travis, because we don't want to run Travis, and this should be all I need to do to set up this Travis or this Azure pipeline job. Make sure I'm not a master. I'll make a PR and hopefully this will pass, and then I'll get back to the 32-bit Go stuff. It's complicated. So, is that this one? Yeah, so we should see builds appear here. Where did the one from the other project go? Oh, this one. Go back to that one, I guess. Okay, so it started building. And so that little amount of YAML expanded out to all of these things. Why does this just say job on the end? Kind of ugly. Recommit job. None of these say job. Anyway, hopefully this works. Oh, this failed. Well, that's not good. Why'd you fail? The path Python 3.6 from Python 3.6 does not exist. That would do it. Right. Default language version. Python 3. Oh, this needs to go above here. So I think that'll fix that bug, or that problem. This is a brand new feature from pre-commit, which you saw I was able to get rid of all the language version things down there, because this will set it all for me. So I don't have to worry about that. Looks like some of these failed too. Oh man, why? Why'd you fail? Oh, because PyPy 3 was not configured with no coverage also. Why did this one fail? Generate coverage. Oh, because we didn't run with coverage. Okay, so I'll have to split those ones into the like no coverage bucket. Fortunately, I have a toggle to turn that off. So we can just take this and say coverage false and put PyPy 3, 6, and 7 into that bucket. So PyPy 3 actually implements f strings despite not being Python 3.6. It's kind of sneaky in that manner. We also need to test PyPy 3. 36 commands. I think there's a better way to do this, but I don't know how. It's like talks factors. I should know, because I help maintain talks, but I can never remember. Factors. Stemv commands. Factors and factor conditional settings. Parts of environment. So you can do deps. Can you do commands? I feel like PyTest does this. I should look there. Yeah, so here's factors. It's used for setenv here, but not for commands. Oh, here we go. Kind of. I don't know what's going on here. I'll just do it this way because I know this works, and you can always improve on it later. But you can see why my percentage of successful builds is pretty low. So I've made quite a few mistakes. Unzip help. Oh boy. Why is that wrapping so strangely? Unzip. I'm trying to find unzip in specific directory. Unix. Dish D? Extract files into Xdir. That sounds like exactly what I want. Is there a queue that's quiet? Yeah. Unzip -q -d foo, I guess. Go.zip. So hopefully that will unzip this into this directory. It's gonna take a while because Windows is, or the unzip command on Windows is pretty slow. Kind of makes sense because creating files is a lot more involved on Windows than it is on Linux. Because basically everything is a file in POSIX, and so making files is pretty fast. But on Windows, it's just different. Very different. Very slow. Why are you taking so long? Unzip.exe. Lots of disk IO. Should be faster than that though. But, well, done now. So then we should get a foo go bin. Okay. So we want to unzip it into temp/go. And then we want to add to the path, which we saw before in this Go template, I guess? Yeah. So you echo out these special directives, and that causes the runner to change how it runs. So we prepend path, we prepend temp/go/go/bin. A little redundant, but that should work. Hopefully. We'll find out. Oh, I mistyped. No. The lowercase d got me there. But failed to push. We pushed the second time, so that's good. This one failed again. The name Tox Linux appears more than once. Right, it does. The music stop? It stopped. Yes, I'm still listening to the background music, I promise. Is it name postfix? I forget. Name postfix. No cover. Oh wait, that's a new feature. I need to update the version. No. Yeah, so this one immediately failed again because it didn't have the interpolation feature. What was the other project we were working on? Docfile. Yeah, so this is the other build that we're watching, which failed on Windows. Unzip failed to find or open go.zip. Perl failed writing body. Failed to create the file temp/go.zip. No such directory. Let's see. Built-in variables, Azure pipelines. I basically want a temporary directory. I realize /temp is not a thing on Windows, now that I think about it. Temp. Nope, no temporary directory. Agent.tools directory. Is there like a variable on Windows that's temporary? Like %temp? Echo %temp %. Oh. Okay. That probably means under bash it's $temp. Try that. Oh, maybe if I just change this to bash, it'll just work. Let's try that. This one failed again. Oh, I should put an underscore there. Why did this still try and do coverage? Did I get the parameter wrong? Probably. Coverage, true. If parameters.coverage. So this should have been false. What? I am confused. I have no idea. Why didn't this work? What sort of templating is this? This is the, like, crazy weird Azure Pipelines template language. They made up their own YAML YAML-based templating. It's technically valid YAML, but it looks pretty weird. I don't know why they, like, I kind of get why they invented their own, but I wish they would have, like, made the tool that parses it and outputs it a little bit more accessible. Yeah, it's a kind of Microsoft thing. At least it's open source, but it's C#, so it's kind of annoying to build for Linux. I realize you can download the C# compiler for Linux and do that, but it's not like apt install and I'm already there. So I don't know why this isn't applying here. I imagine that it's something to do with, like, Boolean parameters, because this, I think I spelled coverage correctly here. And I assume this is false. So I don't know why this isn't working here. My if statement should have not. No, like if coverage is true, it should run these. And so I'm setting coverage to false because I don't want to run these, but it is running these and failing. And it runs it independent of that parameter, apparently. Which seems broken to me. I wish it could show me the template. View queue time, maybe this? Oh good, it didn't show. I thought this was a key. Fortunately not a key. This isn't helpful, it's not what I wanted. Is this a CI solution built into Azure? Kind of. Yeah, I guess. But you can, I'm using it with GitHub. So, it works with GitHub. Which is, I'm trying to switch away from Travis CI is my bottom line. Let's see, Boolean, parameter, pipeline, templates. Oh, this is Spinnaker, not helpful. Do I really have to capitalize true and false? You do in Python, but in YAML you usually don't. Like, false will be false, and true will be true. So I guess I can try capitalizing false. I don't think that'll make a difference, because, I mean, YAML says that they're all false, but if that's what I need to do to appease the Microsofts, then, I will do it. Bill Microsoft, yeah. This didn't succeed. Run talks. What failed here? Go build failed. Do we have more output? No, we do not have more output. Where's the rest of the output? Oh, here we go. What the f— Undefined mod kernel 32. I have no idea what that is. Has no one else ever seen? Oh. Literally no one else has seen this error message. I'm on my own. Google has failed me. It's not good. Why is this being imported? Syscall Windows. Oh, shoot. Oh, this is 64-bit Python. That's why. So it's trying to cross-compile 64-bit Python with 32-bit Go, maybe? Maybe? Let's build a Flappy Bird clone instead. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because it's 64-bit and I need 32-bit. So... Which project was that I was working on? Oh, I guess I can check back on the other one now too. That's Dockerfile. This is future app strings. Still failing. Close some tabs. Go away tabs. Yeah, so it still tried to run the coverage even though that was false. Don't you need 3.7 instead of 2.7? Are there different cases for choosing a version? So it's actually running both here. So I'm testing both Python 2.7 and Python 3.7. And it's like magically expanding these for me. But what I need to make happen is like architecture x86 or something like that and make this work properly. Am I using a branch here so I can just yeah, I'm using a branch here so I can already expand this to have more features there. This is the fastest way for me to find the field that I'm using because I used it in a issue here. Use Python version architecture Azure pipelines architecture. So normally it's x64 or x86. This argument applies only on Windows agents. Interesting. Job Python Tux architecture x64 is the default. So we can use that to install the architecture choice. So then this should apply here, hopefully. It seems like, for whatever reason, that parameters that are false are just completely ignored, would be my guess. That or I typoed for that other job. Coverage. So this is exactly the same string. Yeah, those look the same. I guess I can exactly check them. Yeah, those are definitely the same string. And this one down here. Compare it against one of these ones. Definitely the same string, so I don't know what's going on there. Oh, that's so annoying. Like, I might have to change this to be stringly typed, which is really annoying. I guess I could temporarily put in a step here that's that causes it to print out the value of this parameter. Then we could see if it's actually being passed through. But we've probably found a bug, would be my guess. Let's future f strings. This is this one. Hopefully with 32-bit window or 32-bit Python this will work. Use Python version. We install the right one? Yeah, we installed x86. So hopefully this will work. I think it's funny that I was like, oh yeah, future f strings, that'll be an easy one to port. Wrong. Dead wrong. Are you going faster? You're going faster. Source distribution worked. Now it's installing. Hopefully that's working. Oh, it worked! I think it worked! Oh wait, maybe not. No, that's the virtual app creation. This is where it's either gonna succeed or fail, I guess. No, I'm wrong. It's this one now. Surely this one. Oh, please work. I'm fully prepared to be disappointed though. I don't expect it to work. Yeah. Bless RNG. Yeah. I don't think this one's up to RNG though. This one's either gonna work or not. What is it doing? Although if it's taking a long time, that's probably a good sign, not a bad sign. It kind of is RNG though. I mean, yeah, I guess like you could have some really rare RNG that causes it to break something. Isn't it all from Google searches and Stack Overflow random code? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got me. I'm a tier 10 copy and paster. It's taking forever. Why are you taking so long? Yeah. No, it failed. Dang it. Go build. Oh, we got a different error message this time though. What failed? Runtime /cgo. Skipping incompatible while searching for Python 3.7. What? You should have linked this one, or any of these. Oh, we also got the same like mod kernel errors before. Alright, well, I guess we're not replacing @var today then. We'll just replace Travis, which is a bummer. But we tried. Yeah, F. So you live another day out there. Which is unfortunate, but oh well. So, not killing Atbear today, but we can kill... actually, wait. We need to bring this back then. Oh, that's a bummer. I'll debug that some other day. But not today. Okay, so we switched Travis for Azure Pipelines. We run go test. Then we test Go 111 with Python 2.7, and then we test Go 112 with everything. So that seems fine. And I think I was happy with what I did here. So we added this new Go test job. And we added an architecture parameter to Python talks. So we can make a pull request of that. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pretty bummed that that didn't work. But anyway, that mostly worked, and so I'll probably wrap up the stream here. Flappy Bird now. Yeah, I need to go to sleep. I gotta wake up early tomorrow. Maybe one day I'll make a Flappy Bird clone. I haven't done that yet. Or I could make something that plays Flappy Bird, which would probably be slightly more interesting. But anyway, I'm gonna do the wind down here. So if you missed any part of the stream, I post all of the unedited stream recordings up on YouTube afterwards. So if you want to do that, it's youtube.com/AnthonyWritesCode. So the same as my Twitch handle. And I usually stream on a schedule, which I can show now. I should really put that in the description, but I haven't done that yet. Space, Anthony Writes Code, thumbnails. So you'll see this in a bit. But I usually stream on Saturdays at 1 p.m. and some weekdays I'll stream at 6 p.m. like I did today. I usually announce my streams on Twitter, so if you want to find those, I'm, let's see, twitter.com. What is my Twitter handle? Code with Anthony. It's different than my Twitch handle because brand synergy is hard, I guess. I definitely enjoyed my time here. You're very welcoming and kind. I appreciate things. Well, no, thank you for stopping by. I'm glad to be as helpful as possible. I always enjoy chatting with anyone who's in stream. But yeah, that's all I've got. Thank you guys for stopping by. Hopefully you learned something. If not, whatever. And have a good one.